Namaste, Galactic family. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Come on into Indigo Angel here on YouTube. Come on in for this New Earth live update part 2 as we are going to dive back into our Quantum Earth timeline jumping series where we talk about how we are timeline jumping into new Earth timeline dimensional realms, essentially, and how we do this through the heart chakra, through the Stargate portal, our 16-dimensional heart vortice chakra, Stargate, quantum timeline jumping portal. And essentially, yeah, we're gonna get back into it. We have to get through the sixth dimensional Earth, through the 12th dimensional Earth, and essentially, if you hadn't caught the first video, part one, you may want to go back and watch that live that we just did 2 days ago. Essentially, yeah, there's so much to get into regarding New Earth, right? We are finally moving into the Earth realms and dimensions in which actually support the building of New Earth and the energy, the light matrices, the constructs, the stargates, the ethereal realms, the astral realms, in which work in the higher harmonics of Earth to create the foundation for new Earth, and for us as grid workers to work with that and to lay that foundation. So it's an exciting time. So come on in and check on in for this live, you guys. As always, put a like on this video and uh, say hello in the chat and let me know that you guys are here with me. So that way, you do have to be subscribed to the channel for at least 60 seconds to get into the chat. And yeah, be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that notifications bell, and share this out to any of your like-minded Ascending, Starseed, Indigo, Gridworker friends and community in which you think are going to benefit from this information drop, essentially, right? And it's exciting because I just put a video out last night talking a little bit about the coming of the gold blood ones. This is definitely a part of the New Earth prophecy. This is definitely something I'm going to be teaching about in my Global Gridwork and New Earth Prophecy course coming February 22nd, 2025. We are going to be diving into the DNA and what is going to change, what is going to shift, what is going to happen as we move into the New Earth timelines, the New Earth realities, and the future seventh root race, essentially. So it's really exciting. Uh, these concepts, right, of aligning with an RH null blood that's going to manifest itself through the birthing of the new and future root races, essentially. If you guys have heard of the gold blood, um, yeah, drop it down in the comments. Let me know if you've heard about this before. I guess maybe this is kind of new to some of you. I think it probably is. Um, Essentially, this does have a lot to do with really what's going on 8D Earth, 9D Earth, 10D Earth, 11D Earth, 12D Earth. This is where these things are already happening at a much future timeline. They're already happening in the present on those Earths, and this is why jumping Earths to get information qualifies and quantifies you to bring future new Earth prophecy back down to the 3D, 4D, 5D realms and to tell people in these timelines essentially what's going to be happening in the future. So really, this is about um, what's going to happen as the seventh Manu begins to incarnate. Um, so yeah, the seventh Manu. This really Manu essentially means like future race, and we're essentially at about the sixth subrace, I would say. And we will be moving into the seventh race. So this is, under the course of over the next, really we're going to see this amplifying and speeding up over the next couple hundred years on the planet. I mean, this already exists on 12D Earth. And you know what? This does exist here on 3D Earth to some degree. I do believe that there is a small percentage of people who actually have this blood now on the Earth currently as we speak. But the majority of the gold blood ones won't be incarnating until the new Earth comes. So yeah, guys. Hey, ATL Transparency, how is it going tonight? Eleanor, hey, happy Q day. Hey girl, I was just I seen your post before I actually jumped on and I'm like, Q day, is this Q Anon day? Is that what this is? Uh it would be interesting. I haven't heard about that before, but I was just looking into it and it would make sense because I actually just seen a post the other day that has to do with Cash Patel. I guess Cash Patel is like a cute Anon follower, the guy that's supposed to become the head of the FBI. And essentially, he's scaring everybody in Congress and scaring everybody on Capitol Hill because, he's actually, I think, following a lot of what QAnon says. And so within that, it does talk a lot about the sexual rings and the Draco Hive and the pedophilia that's happening at the apex of the Willy Wonka system, at the apex of the government. And so all these politicians and congressmen are questioning, Kash Patel, is he the right man for the job and all of this and that because he follows Q and Anon. So that's really funny. That's really interesting. It's definitely bringing things that were once just considered conspiracy into the mainstream, like on a much bigger level. And it's so interesting watching all of these people squirm as they get really, really uncomfortable as these hard, hidden truths start to kind of smack them in the face, so to speak. So yeah, if that's what Happy Q Day stands for, Happy Q Day all day. Let's go, girl. Tennessee, Kentucky, Bigfoot. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Joe Oregon Bubbles. Evie, hey girl. Yeah, part two, here we go. We're gonna be jumping into the higher earths. I was even just trying to get my vibration up, even just to come on for this live, because I'm like, I gotta, raise it up just to talk about these higher earths, because they're just so high vibrational. And yeah, Amako. Hi, all purebloods. Yes, pureblood ones in the house. That's right. We're the purebloods. Tennessee, Kentucky Bigfoot. Dolphins should have the gold blood because they have mercury. Oh, wow. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. The dolphins and the whales, they would already have the gold blood. Yeah, a lot of the sentient animals on this earth probably would. That's something to definitely look into. They say rare, only 5% has negative blood. Yeah, definitely. I think that is much more rare. That is for sure. That must have something to do with the pole shifts as well and where we are in the alignment. So yeah, all that is, hey Raquel, hey sister. Um, yeah, so I'm excited to talk about this. This is it's definitely a new concept, right? That's getting activated. It's a new potential probability, possibility in these timelines, for what's happening on New Earth, essentially, what is necessary ultimately for us to be able to um, sustain higher evolution. I don't know if the Earth can really get to New Earth if we stay in this polarity imbalance in the RH rhesus of positive and negative, right? We have to get to a nullified zone. We have to get to a harmonized zone within the blood, right? Where everything, comes back to wholeness. So this is really what the gold blood is. It's the RH null. And this blood is really it's capable of sustaining higher temperatures. It's has higher levels of electricity. It can sustain higher levels of electricity, right? You know how gold is a very conductive metal to electricity. So, as the Earth is ascending and planetary ascension is occurring, the Earth is becoming more electrical. It's becoming more ultra, ultra radioactive, or that not necessarily radioactive, but it's becoming ultra radio light, essentially. So it's higher levels of electricity. This is really what's sustaining the grids is the ultra matrices are activating. And so it's really necessary for the global Terra reformation to occur as we move into the new Earth. So the gold blood will dissolve contention within people's blood. It's going to be ending bloodline warfare and neutralizing genetics, opposing genetics, warfare within the genetics, the galactic warfare, the ET warfare. I mean, it is a genetic war. That's, this is what everything is about, the race master lines and all this stuff, right? This is, and this can be playing out within somebody's blood, within somebody's ancestral inheritance. Somebody can come in with a hardcore Draco reptilian genetic and a hardcore Ashkenazi Jewish line, right? And that's just like full on warfare in their blood. So the gold blood is going to dissolve that contention. Anything that's opposing really within their own body, within their own DNA, it's going to act as a buffer and it's going to neutralize the reptilian gene code. It's going to purify the original 12D human angelic guardian template. And additionally, the gold blood will activate all DNA strands and all of the so-called junk DNA as well will get turned on. So it's like all of your memories immediately get turned on, all of your abilities immediately get turned on. Timeline jumping Earths is going to be taken to the next level, right? See you guys on 48th dimensional Earth because we're out of here once the gold blood turns on. We're going to be jumping all the way much quicker. We'll be learning how to travel at the speed of light, etherically, telepathically, transdimensionally, and it's gonna be upgraded blood. This is gonna be not only turning on all these things in the DNA, but it's gonna be simultaneously repatterning and repairing any insufficiencies that one may have, caused from the previous tormented root races. So this coming on is actually really important because it's going to collapse down a lot of suffering from the old Earth timelines, like really getting a really setting the grid timeline fields of new Earth. Yeah. And Tennessee says gold resolves in mercury. Yeah, that's interesting, that aspect of it right there. I'd have to look more into how that plays out within the restoration of the gold blood. Like, because we've also been seeing like silver blood and things like this, and um, so I think there's gonna be, I guess, some more organic elemental alchemical phasing within the DNA, right? We're gonna be maybe more neutral with all different metal diversity within the blood or the expression of it. RH null is so rare. Only 43 people have ever had it. I think there's like 50. I think there's 50 people that have ever had it. It's funny though. I put this post out on my Facebook. I made a little video for it, and it just blew up on Facebook. I mean, I think this video on the gold blood ones has over like 124K views on Facebook, which was so random and strange, but it seems like so many people know about it. And I'm like, wow, I had no idea this many people were like knew about the gold blood. So, I mean, it only makes sense though. I think it's something that's just if you think about everything in terms of evolution and everything upgrading, that we're going to be getting a new golden grid, and this really takes us back to clearing everything that's happened with the Anunnaki, right? All of the slavery, everything that's substantiated over in ancient Sumer, ancient Mesopotamia, ancient Babylon, the Persian Gulf, the Nippur, the Uruk, all these areas, like there's some sort of energetic blockage, right? There's some sort of ancient enslavement documentation, some sort of like something that's landlocked over there that I think once these records be released in terms of the gold records and the enslavement of man, that as these lift and shift, and maybe it's the breaking of the stolen tablets of destiny. I mean, this goes back to the moon wars, right? And the moon crashing into Tiamat. And one of the reasons that this happened was because like Enlil or Enki, I don't remember which one it was, but is because they stole the tablets of destiny from the moon, and this may be why in fact, the force breeder programs even occurred in the first place, why the fall of the angels occurred in the first place, that there's some hexes, there's some curses, there's some spells, over all this stuff that, breaking of these records and these timelines, or essentially at least reintegrating the timelines or healing these within the planetary Akashic records, that essentially this may have something to do more with allowing this evolution to move forward, right? The healing of the fractures of the planetary wars. Tennessee, Kentucky, Bigfoot says mercury was the primary means of treatment for syphilis until the early 20th century. Wow. That is interesting. Oh my goodness. Well, it is very interesting, right? I mean, there's so much that we don't know about mercury. I mean, and why do we put that in our fillings and our teeth and things like this? And it's not supposed to be good for you, but then you have because if the fillings leak and you like swallow that mercury, but then here we are using it to treat syphilis. So I guess it's probably the way in which you utilize it, right? How like careful you have to be with that stuff. Because I mean, it's potent, right? It can consume gold. So it has something to do with 1D Earth. I know it has something to do with that, with Mercury being so cosmically connected to the 1D Earth and those time portal passageways. I don't know if Mercury is something that's good or not, if that has something to do with the destruction consciousness within collective consciousness. You know what I mean? Something to think about. But yeah, this transformation is going to enable these Manu beings of the seventh race when the gold blood activates and comes online in the future, they're going to live longer lives. They're going to maybe even live up to 1,000-year lives. The beings that come in with the gold blood, they are going to have the most pristine version of this DNA. So, I mean, it's going to extend their telomeres. It's going to extend their amino acids, right? It's going to extend their genetics. And so their lifespans actually upgrade. And that's also to combat what's happening within the rainforest and the losing of the oxygen and, all of the pressures on the atmosphere and everything that has to do with the carbon oxygen exchange. Like the gold will be something that is almost like boosting the immunity of the incarnating race, right? Allowing them to live longer lives, allowing them to handle higher levels of all extremes in which they're going to be weathering on the planet as it changes. Because the more ascended the planet becomes, the more rapidly the changes actually occur and happen. So the future root races will have to be much more adaptable to the Earth's environment, and they're going to be combating a lot of corrosion or reactivity to higher levels of Earth period transitions, and maybe these higher levels of reactivity to other different types of beings. Like I, it would be interesting if there was a Mercury-based based body or a base blood type that comes in as well, because that might not be a good thing, right? It's like always having this polarity present itself. That's kind of something to conceptualize that that could create even a more destructive nature within predatorial forces and things like this. But overall, it's the gold blood is it's meant to dissolve the opposition. It's meant to dissolve the polarity in the DNA. So it's meant to dissolve the Rh positive, dissolve the Rh negative blood types, erasing the polarity amongst humankind. So that's kind of the point of it on New Earth is that it's going to erase the duality and create unification and harmony because the whole planet's really going to have to be aligned to this, right? And so it is something that will have to shift amongst the blood types from the planet. And so proteins known as the Rh factors, the antigens are completely absent in the red cells of people with the golden blood type. And as of now, someone just mentioned 43 people have it. Yeah, the rarest blood group in the world, less than 50 individuals have this blood group in the whole world. They say it was first discovered in an Australian Aboriginal woman in 1961. So this actually comes from the I think probably like the Anangu beings, the Anangu people, the ancient Lemurian bloodlines that were the ancient record keepers to the motherlands of Mu. So it's not really a new blood. This may have been the blood back on Mu. This may have been the main blood type back on Lemuria, and that we have somehow evolved out of the gold blood, right? And again, having to do something with the Anunnaki and the slave race thing coming through. And so the ones who incarnate with the gold blood, they're also going to have copper skin. They're going to probably have more melanation and more of these metals, like healthy metals in the skin, and which allow them to be, again, harmonious, neutral, um, can integrate the radiation from the sun and the radiation from the planet without it being harmful. So that's going to be a big thing. Um, Probably is going to activate the gold records within the golden Akashic core of the planet, right? Because as we evolve into different cores, right now we have a violet core. Right now we have a core that's necessary to bring through the times of change, going into the year 2400, year 2200. Um, Really, we're going to be within a violet core, but as we get to new Earth, the new, we're going to have the gold core. So this will really, I think, rectify the ancient spiritual way of existing even more, right? From the Lemurian Akashic records that will become and here's the thing, I don't think we'll become Lemuria again. I think they are ancient records and root races for a reason, but I do think we parallel back around and we are another slice or another offshoot of that civilization in some way, but we're not, fully embodied. We're not them, but we are an essence of them in a way. So I don't think Lemuria or Atlantis will ever come back, but that we will maybe integrate a new aspect of the collective soul essence from that timeline period. Okay, Amako says, is this cleansing in our lifetime? Well, it is happening now. The gold ones are already on the planet. They said there's less than 50 people on the earth that have it. Apparently, some people on my Facebook have it. As they dropped their comments and said, I have the gold blood. So that's funny. But yeah, I mean, this is happening now, but this is going to be more in the future. The gold ones will start to, they're going to manifest on the earth. It's really, I think, coming from the ancient Lemurian bloodlines. It's really coming from, where they discovered it. in the Australian Aboriginal lines, so it's it's really interesting. And we have some guesses with this as well. Like, is this going to unify the sexes within? This is where it's hard to perceive because if you go, if you're releasing positive and negative, if you're releasing somehow the X and Y, like anything that represents duality or polarity, if we're releasing this and the concepts of the changes of New Earth are going to be nullified, they're going to be harmified, they're going to be, or I'm sorry, harmonified, uh, that they will be it will be becoming one thing. So will this unify the sexes within? Will it be androgyny or will it be more of like this non-binary where it's like no sex? And then it's just some form of reproduction through replication. These are all possibilities. I can't say any of these things ultimately with certainty, but it is a possibility that something like this will happen, some changes of the sexes in terms of their outwardly bodily orifices that might change. Um, but I haven't done enough research in terms of looking at the people on the planet who have the gold blood and if, what's their sexual orientation type of thing. I haven't looked into that. It might give some clues or some details though, right, of what that might look like. Um, but we just know that what's going to happen is within the body, the minds, the hearts, the consciousness will be more unified and it will be built to psychically transmit with the electromagnetic energy on the planet. So the gold blood and even really just thinking about this, just activating yourself to this, just meditating on this, you can feel the activation of this, right? Like this feels, I mean, even if you just meditate with gold or on gold or do mantras with gold, like you get the upgrade. You get the higher consciousness upgrade even if you were to take monatomic gold. Like that's what gold is meant to do, right? It's meant to enhance your spiritual senses, your spiritual abilities. And one of the things that does ultimately have to occur on New Earth is the the growth of the enlightened feminine consciousness because the feminine consciousness holds the keys to the peace codes, holds the keys to the freedom and the harmony codes. So, yeah, the gold blood ones will expand with more of a godlike consciousness. They will have more supreme, uh, already 6D to 12D Earth, you know, downloaded. Like they're gonna come in with their 12D templates turned on, essentially. That's what it will be. They'll have major spiritual abilities, major planetary ascension powers. Most of these beings will be telekinetic from birth, moving things with their mind and stuff like this you know, as an infant type of thing. So they're going to be extraordinarily psychic, extraordinarily gifted. And they're going to be much more aligned to the higher evolutionary intellect of the divine intelligence. They're just going to be much more streamlined into that. So Azek says black goo corrupts gold. Ugh, what is the deal? Black goo, mercury, everything. It wants to corrupt the gold. No, we will not allow this to happen on New Earth. We would no negative AI black goo on New Earth. It can't really exist there. There is spiritual immunity, there are quarantines, there are seals in place, there are dissolving processes that occur. Nothing harmful can exist on New Earth. It's that's not what the golden age is about, you know? It's not going to carry over. Tennessee, Kentucky Bigfoot says, I do make gold colloidal. I have to have gold. Call me crazy. Yeah, I mean, I've taken it. I did get Cephicus's colloidal gold that he had, It was not bad. Every time I've taken it, I haven't noticed like a super strong difference. Like when I'm taking it, I'm expecting like something super magical to happen. Like I'm just gonna be like struck by this like godly lightning bolt, and I'm gonna be downloaded all this like super prophetic information. But you know, I think I need to get better quality. I think it's about quality, and I think there may be something with making it from the salts of the Dead Sea. Actually using, what the original Abrahamic prophets used to make their gold, but so I think the problem is people probably are not getting the best quality. And most of the stuff that's being sold is just not, it's not even like 1/10 of the power of if you were making it with the raw, potent salts and substances. But I am not a professional I don't know about making ormus. This isn't like my specialty. So yeah. Yeah, my thoughts on ingesting monatomic gold is that you just have to get good quality. You have to get the best quality you can find. And I think it's probably experimental a little bit with trying different ones, but I know it is supposed to be very activating. It's supposed to be very enlightening. It's supposed to sustain your light body. It's supposed to repair your body. I think it's something to definitely take if you are on the ascension path. That is for sure. Um, and why the gold blood coming in the future, right? Like this will be a less carbon based. So more holographic, right? There'll be more plant-based beings. They're going to be functioning more um, vegetarian. They're going to be conscious living light bodies, holy living light bodies. They're going to be the cleanest holy living light bodies. So they're going to be caring for themselves in that way as well. I mean, the gold blood will be telling them how to care for themselves, right? In this way that really supports the 12 dimensional blueprint in the body. So the DNA transformation will be essential for New Earth to prepare the next future root races for the coming of the star civilizations and the crystal cities. The blood will have to match the frequencies necessary to build those star civilizations. And the crystal cities, basically. Everything, will be radiating from the gold grid and the golden core. Um, so this has a lot to do with the coming of the new Earth, right? If you're not familiar with the coming of the new Earth, this is kind of, you have to know about this concept before you can understand, entirely, why the gold blood will be, significant in that time. Like what changes are going to be happen? What's the evolution? What's the planet's evolution in terms of the ascension? So we're going through a very significant cosmic cycle at this time. I mean, this is expected to last from now, running through the 222 codes, I find, um, running through the 2200, the 2400, each one of these even markers going up to 12,000 CE Common Era is going to be, I think, an amplification cycle of new Earth building timelines that happen. And it's going to bring about a lot of transformation, a lot of experiences, a lot of contributions of the influx of the galactic light energies that are impacting our planetary grid work. It's going to be revitalizing in the Earth's core. We're already going through these processes, and this is why we see so much unrest at this time. This is why, 1D Earth, 2D Earth, 3D Earth, 4D Earth, why they're so dense, why they're so heavy, why there's so much chaos, why there's so many holy wars, why there's so much nonsensical stuff occurring, so much transformation, so much being pushed up to the surface, so much exodus of the Draco hive at this time. It's because everything's going on at the core. It's bringing in galactic light energies and it's impacting the consciousness of this planet, the grid works, the light matrices, the timeline fields. It's revitalizing the Earth's core and it's signaling the onset of the new Earth. So many people are getting this information at this time. If you've been timeline jumping Earths, uh, yeah, so this is something I'm going to be teaching about in my Global Gridwork and New Earth Prophecy course. I hope that you guys come and join me for this course. You can register for it at learn.indigoangel222.com. The links are down in the description of this video. This is going to be a week worth of live classes where we're going to go through each of these, phasing processes of the new earth and like how this is being built, how that this is happening, how this plays a vital role in transformation for working the organic spiritual principles of the earth and laying the foundation of a brighter earth of the future because we know that there's going to be a future root race. We know that there's going to be beings coming to this planet that are going to be emerging from the Amazon, the swaddling cloth, right? Where the birth, where the womb of the new races are meant to emerge, which has a lot to do with um, the indigenous tribes. The indigenous tribes that are basically hidden from society at this time. Like, not a lot of people know about the indigenous tribes in the Amazon. I really feel like it'd be interesting if they could check these guys' blood, see if if they're not holding all the gold blood and secrecy in these hidden tribes, these no contact tribes down in the Amazon. The new seventh root races, the holy races, they're meant to birth from this place. And it's said it's interesting because if you guys there's actually a movie. Oh my gosh, I can't think of the name now. There's a movie about the golden cities down in the Amazon, the Lost City of Z. Drop it down in the comments if you've heard of the Lost City of Z. I feel like this has something to do with it, that the Amazon itself was once connected to the motherlands of Mu, connected to Lemuria, that this, I think, is sustaining the old records of the gold grid. And there's golden cities down in the Amazon. And I guess some guys, and I don't remember the name of the guys, but Europeans, I think they were Europeans, they put together like a mission to go and search for these golden cities in the Amazon. And I think a lot of these people that went searching for these things died and all this stuff. Like it wasn't successful. Let's just put it this way. Mother Earth wasn't allowing nobody to get into those golden cities. Uh, the Amazon's wild. The Amazon's crazy, and these people were not equipped to handle all of the stuff that was getting thrown at them down there. I mean, they got them big, long anacondas and alligators and poisonous snakes and poisonous bugs, and just, it's you got to be a native to those lands to know how to survive in the Amazon. And so it's not just something that anybody can go down there and trek and do and search for these golden cities. And I think they're well protected. They're very well preserved. They're very well protected. And it has something to do with these uncontacted tribes, these gold blood carrying beings, that are going to be, I think they're going to be the ones birthing the future races, because they're so preserved in the organic spiritual essence of humanity. So this all has a lot to do with the New Earth prophecy, and this transformation extends beyond the physical realm. I wouldn't be surprised if there's not just straight up massive 48th dimensional Stargate timeline quantum jumping portals down in the Amazon. I could only imagine, taking us beyond the physical realm and into the collective consciousness. But I think overall what we're witnessing is a convergence of eras, right? Where new spiritual identities, new timelines, new future root races, new anticipation of the arrival of the golden light cities, also known as the star cities, also what will become in the future, the star civilizations, which is already what the star forts represent. The Star Forts gave us a little taste. The Tartarian civilization gave us a little taste. The Atlantean civilization gave us a little taste of what those star civilizations are going to be. They represent the advanced civilizations of humankind that have integrated the 12D spiritual existence and technological process, and they've laid the groundwork for that society and that paradigm. So we have remnants of it already here, but it's very fractured. But that will reemerge in a new way, a more, I think, galactic embodied way in the planet where the guardian councils, star civilizations like the Arcturians, the Lyrans, the Orions, Pleiadians, they may live on Earth actually embodied in the 3D at some point in the future, even though they already technically are now, but they will actually have cities. They will have their own above ground built um, city hubs and things like this that are integrated with humanity. So yeah, we're going to be talking about all of this in the course. So be sure to join me. Come and sign up and do this course with me. I think you guys will love it so much. And um, let's go back to my slides. I'm gonna, so we're gonna quantum jump to 6D Earth here because this is really kind of where New Earth begins. Um, this is kind of you could say that 60 Earth is kind of functioning further in the future. I would say maybe in the third and the fourth millennia. It's almost like anchoring timeline vectors from these future timelines. Um, so it allows us to begin to transition more spiritually into that advanced state. I do feel that the 60 Earth is housing a violet core, so it's symbolizing growth and transcendence. And all this is essential for the eventual realization of the gold core, 12D Earth gold core, and then the 144 dimensional Earth, which is holding that double diamond core. That's the 12,000 common era Earth, right? This is marking a significant milestone in planetary evolution. Um, so 60 Earth is the gateway to the new Earth. This is where it kind of begins. So if you can timeline jump to the 60 higher astral Earth, you'll be accessing those gateways, but not entirely. I think it's a building progression to 12D Earth, which is where it's like fully realized or actualized. El Dorado was the lost golden city. Okay, yeah. I'm wondering if that was that in the movie of the Lost City of Z? I tried to watch the Lost City of Z movie, but it unfortunately could not hold my attention. I got so bored. It was too political. It was just, yeah, it was like slow and political. Too much focusing on all the politics before actually getting to the golden cities and actually like I wanted more of the adventure. I wanted more of like the Indiana Jones stuff. Eleanor says, "Thank God, it's well protected. So cool." I've been called to Amazonia too. Yeah, I mean, I got a huge download getting back from the Arkansas mission that getting to the Amazon would be like the next big global gridwork mission that I needed to do. I feel like I'm going to have some smaller missions in the United States coming up over uh, going into the summertime, but then, maybe we need to look at putting together a big mission down in the Amazon because I think this really has a lot to do with clearing the grief, clearing the lungs of the planet, um, connecting to the Kundalini energy. And this also has something really significant to do with the gold blood as well, the Kundalini, and this being turned on at a much higher level. There's actually a lady that I follow on Instagram who she does Kundalini activation healings down in the Amazon. And it is wild stuff. I mean, she's just like pulling it out of people with her hands and like from far away. And they're going into trance and you can almost see the energy like it's so dormant where we are because we're not holding keys to the 12D blueprint on this land. This land is very blocked. There's not a lot of high dimensional Stargate portals or open inner Earth passageways that can sustain 12D consciousness here on the mainland. But as you go South America, I mean, those things are so blown open that pulling the kundalini up is it's much more intense, it's much more felt, it's much more sensitive, and you're just embraced with that living spiritual quantum that just activates it. So the kundalini has a lot to do with the gold blood and that transformation. New continent, Shasta. Yes, I think Shasta will be one of the places we go, actually, coming soon. So yeah, stay tuned, you guys. I'm gonna be putting out some new boots on the ground mission work coming soon. Recall that 16-year-old girl whose plane crashed in the Amazon and her whole family died, but she survived 10 days alone and then was found. Crazy story. Wow, that is a crazy story. Yep, Shasta root chakra. Yep, that's what we're thinking. We're thinking Shasta. Yep. And I think it's significant for the California fires, and I think all of the healing that needs to be done over there in California in the 1D, 2D Earth timelines California sustains. You know, that's really, I mean, these areas that are getting attacked, because we know that those fires are, as much as they're saying that they're natural or they think that they're not, we know that there's so much corruption behind the scenes. There's so much planning. They want it to be a smart city in 2028. So, they're doing all that stuff intentionally. We're actually going to probably do a live on this tomorrow evening, have a roundtable talking about just some of this really shady behavior we've been seeing behind Gavin Newsome and like him swaying back and forth when he's getting asked questions, just acting really insincere. Like you can tell he's lying about a lot of things. Yeah, his Draco reptilian, he's shape-shifting for sure, like right before our eyes. And he doesn't have a lot of compassion. He has a lot of apathy. And it's very present, when you see people trying to talk to him about the problems and stuff. So yeah, it's California overall needs a clearing, that is for sure. Okay, but 60 Earth. So we're quantum timeline jumping. Okay, we did 1 through 5 on the last video. Just be sure, if you're just tuning in with me, be sure to go watch part 1 of the last video that I did live, talking about Earth timeline jumping and how we do that and how we shift up and we tune up and we dial up and we, you know, basically have a parallel experience in the physical, experiencing that different dimensional Earth simultaneously to interacting with everybody else who's on a different dimensional Earth. Um, and yeah, we got through 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It was very thorough and they were very heavy, dense Earths. So I was gonna do the live to part 2 the next day, but then I was like, I think we all need to integrate what we went over because it was pretty heavy, right? Like how dense 1D and 2D was. So now we're shifting up and we're talking about 60 Earth. This Earth serves as a pivotal Earth. This realm is intricately connected to all the guardian stargates on the planet and acts as a threshold to New Earth. So, yeah, this one's transmitting with Kauai, Hawaii. This one's transmitting with Machu Picchu. This one's transmitting with Glastonbury. This one's transmitting with the Bosnian pyramids. This one's transmitting with Giza. Everything is really sustained by the 6D frequency in terms of Guardian Stargate portals. 6D Earth also has a strong connection to the Sirian solar system. So this one, Sirian, and then also the Stymphalian birds. it's like this Earth is almost like the Earth that holds the Stargate portals from the Lyran Syrian Stargate portal. So it brings in a lot of, I think, the Aquilan, but also the Cygnusian Cygnus codes, the Swan, and Lyra and Vega, right? The vulture. So it's very avian, but also it's like air and water, but it's just 60 Earth is deeply intertwined with the Sirian solar system. So a lot of times if you timeline jump to 60 Earth, you'll actually see the three suns. You'll see three different suns. You'll see this literally in the sky. I mean, I think Noko even caught a picture of this one time. We actually caught a picture of three different suns like in a row. It was absolutely crazy. Um, and she even had a nickname for it, calling it like the dog stars, or something like that. Um, yeah, she calls them like the dog stars. But so interesting, right? It aligns with like Sirius being connected to the dog and to um, goddess Isis and all of these things. So there's something with the Syrian sun. I think it's the apex of the triple solar system. And so if you're on 60 Earth, you can see this. You can see the prisms of the three suns and you can interact with the three different suns. And these celestial configurations do manifest visually on 60 Earth. You will see it. You'll see the presence of it. And the harmonic balance between the divine feminine, divine masculine, and the divine childlike creation energies. Indigo souls often incarnate into the 60 Earth, right? So if you're an indigo, you're gonna come in with your fourth through sixth strand of DNA activated. So you'll usually land on Earth. Um, like if you land on the lower 40 Earth, you're most likely like an Orion Stargate incarnate. If you come in through the 5D Earth, you're most likely a Pleiadian Stargate uh, incarnate. If you come in through the 6D, sixth strand, it's more of the Lyran Syrian. So that's kind of the pathway into 60 Earth. These are basically stargates are incarnation portals. You know, this is how the celestial consciousness seeds into the race morphogenetic field of the planet. And so it's like these are like garden Earths. These are garden Earths. They're garden worlds. This is where life, pure life and upgraded spiritual life can come in, essentially. So the Syrian Stargate portals, I think these are very heavily running in the Mediterranean. Um, Definitely like the tips of Italy, Sicily, Italy, the Canary Islands. I think that might be one of them. The Malta, I think, is also a Syrian Stargate portal. Really the Mediterranean waters. I mean, the whole Mediterranean itself is, I think, is like the 60 Earth waters. Not all of the areas, but more centralized. I think where the fault zones are, where the tectonic plates come together underneath the Mediterranean. I think this is where that Stargate runs through the planet. I also think there's portal passages through the Polynesian Triangle, the Pacific Water, like Kauai, Hawaii, Easter Islands. I think Easter Islands is definitely a conduit for the 60 Earth. And just this is just where a lot of the flow of the cosmic wisdom from the Syrian sun is coming into the planet. I do also feel 60 Earth is the birthplace of the higher angelic realms. So, if you're a 60 Earth incarnate, you would have came in with your angelic body intact. So if you came in 40 Earth, you're going to have to work up to get that angelic body intact. You're probably going to have to do a lot of DNA rehabilitation. But if you come in with your sixth strand on 60 Earth activated, you're gonna already have your angelic body intact. You will be more consciously connected to your interdimensional universal tree of life. Um, you'll be more tethered to the sacred fabric of the mother trees and the forest, the grandmother trees. Like you will probably be more telepathic with the guardians themselves. You'll be having more transmission with the guardians. Um, and so it just, this earth brings forth a lot of enlightenment. And unlike the other lower dimensional earths that we talked about, where there's a lot of strife, there's a lot of warfare, there's a lot of, battle with duality that's existing on 1D, 2D, 3D, 4D, all the way till they're trying to get into 5D, but again, they can't, right? Because they have those protection seals, they have the quarantine measures. Um, all of that is minimal on 60 Earth. That's really not happening here. Duality still exists, but the intensity is greatly diminished. So, this is really an environment for learning. This is an environment for embracing growth, and it's an environment for harmony. 6D Earth is like a living mystery school Earth. It's a living mystery school Earth. It functions as a living mystery school where knowledge and innovation and spiritual exploration are the focus. Um, Ascended masters and higher evolutionary souls can spend many incarnations here, right? 60 Earth feels really good. We're going to spend a lot of our lifetimes here, mastering the lessons in a peaceful way, mastering them and preparing them for the higher earths. And so it's a realm of deep discovery. It's where the focus shifts from the survival and the duality to refinement of spiritual and intellectual pursuits. And so there's a lot of opportunities on 60 Earth in terms of spiritual development and knowledge, the tree of knowledge, the wisdom of knowledge, sacred sites, stargates, galactic consciousness. I mean, one has to really quantum jump to 60 Earth. Again, getting that sixth strand activated to turn on their planetary logos consciousness, right? Really turn on their ability to see Earth holographic geometry. Their grid worker consciousness comes more online, right? This is where you learn this stuff. It's the mystery school realm, you know? You can't do grid work if you're not quantified and qualified. You gotta be able to get to these Earths in the first place. The Monroe Institute, they have the Explored Beyond the Veil, which holds Garden, Sacred Mountain, Grid, Tree of Life, and a purple mist of explorations. Interesting. Well, so like an actual institution is teaching about uh, grid work, maybe, or like spiritual sciences. And it's interesting, a lot of institutions I've been finding do usually have botanical gardens. And I find like I think 60 Earth is like a botanical garden. If you've ever been to a botanical garden, uh, there's so much magic happening with the plants. So I think if they are teaching about those things, they may have a garden, they may have something because whenever I've gone to a botanical garden, it's always connected to like a university or like an institution or something, um, or some sort of like, private, what are they called? Um, a 501(c)(3). They're called a nonprofit, like some form of a nonprofit. Yeah, I really do feel like 60 Earth is like it's a botanical garden. It's like you are embracing the plants and the spirits of the plants, and they're communicating with you, and you are learning their psychic qualities because plants are psychic and plants are spiritual medicine, not just in terms of eating them or drinking them or um, working with them like in your garden, like they also, if you just sit with them and meditate with them, they also have spiritual wisdom that they transmit to you. Ambrosias that the flowers give off that upgrade your consciousness, your intellect, your awareness, your senses. Some of them even make you high on the energy. This was something I really experienced in Kauai. And I really think, you can't experience those things unless you are on a 6D Earth or higher. So, yeah, there's more harmony on 6D Earth overall. And I also think that this one holds keys to our evolutionary states, and it's not just a place though where you stop. Like I think this is where the growth starts is on 6D Earth, transformation from the 5D Earth, and it's like a preparation Earth that is going to prepare you for the ultimate harmony and what's occurring on 7D Earth. So let's take a look at 7D Earth. I have different pictures for each one. We're going to do a quantum jump. Everybody shift up in your Stargate portal. Let's go to 7D Earth. So I call this one the heavenly realm of purity and divine harmony. Hey, Melissa. Hey, girl. Yeah, she's bringing in see Kauai. That's how we roll. We call to it, and then here it is. That's that's how it happens. That's the magic. That's the synchronicity. Thank you. Yeah, I'll be talking about Kauai till to the day I just, transcend to new earth. It's an amazing place. There's nothing like it in the world. It's really truly where new earth exists. Hawaii is where new earth is. So if you want to experience new earth, go to Kauai, Hawaii. It's the island of levitation. Um, and it's very protected though. That's one thing I can tell you. If you don't hold the ascension codes or keys, you will be redirected. You will not be able to get there. It is safeguarded. Just like how we have these seals and we have these protection things in different dimensional Earths, it's safeguarding the places and the zones on the planet in which hold the new Earth. So you can't go there unless you hold the keys, right? Until you get the activations, until you repair and rehabilitate your DNA, you won't get access to it. Victoria says a large percentage of RH null is from consanguinis. Consanguinis. I'm not pronouncing that correctly. Marriage or close relation, procreation, it is associated with spherocytic hemolytic anemia. Oh my gosh. Stomatocytosis and increased osmotic fragility red cell. Wow. That's a mouthful. Um, okay. Well, yeah, I mean, just reading that, it makes me think of the virgin birthing, right? Like it takes us back to virgin birthing, takes us back to, yeah, transcending of the sexes, nullifying of all of that stuff. But it does have something with how the body, like procreation, right? How the body can change itself and alter itself to replicate itself. Oh, interesting. Iran has a lot of inbreeding and a lot of original blood. Weird. Well, we know that there's a lot of inbreeding over there, a lot of marrying of their cousins and stuff like this. That's normal. But yeah, RH that they would have the RH null. If anything, they force bred it. They probably are the original bloodlines that took all of the Lemurians and, ripped them from their tribes and stuff like this and took them for forced breeding. So that wouldn't surprise me if it would appear in those lines because it's probably hybridized into it from forced breeding. But yeah, so 70 Earth. Let's talk about 70 Earth. So I like to call this one the Jacob's Ladder, right? It's kind of like the higher heavenly portal passageways, to get here. This is definitely where the angelic energies thrive. Yes, all that is, that's correct. Parthenogenesis. Thank you. That word just has been slipping my mind. Parthenogenesis, creation. That kind of sounds a little bit of like what Victoria might be saying, like there's some sort of component with that it's connected to parthenogenesis. Yeah, the gold blood has gotta be, it's gotta be the basis for parthenogenesis. That's for sure. I should really run this by Marguerite Rigoglioso. I wonder what she would think about this because she's kind of like the expert on parthenogenesis. She's wrote a lot of books about it. But it makes sense that this would all be coming up, right? As we're like shifting up into these earths. All these things are coming up, right? Because it's a part of divine creation. It's a part of miraculous things that seem so miraculous to us down on, 3D, 4D Earth. Miracles are happening up here in these higher Earths. And so 70 Earth it represents the heavenly Earth. It's the sanctified realm where the angelic energies thrive. It's untouched by conflicts. There is no conflicts here. It's entirely safeguarded from the invasions that mark the lower dimensions of Earth. It is a place of eternal cleansing and purification, and it's constantly being refined through purification. It's constantly being refined through harmony. It's constantly being refined through alignment with divine principles. So, this is a sanctuary for the angelic beings. When the angels are tired and they're down on 4D, safeguarding the crap out of 4D because they had to put quarantine seals down there because all the viruses are running down on 3D and all the people are sick down there and they're getting tired, right? They got to take a break. They're going back up to 7D. That's where they take their lunch break. That's where the angels go meditate. They go to the 7D and they're protected from harm. They are creating a sanctuary where their energies can flourish without interference. And this realm serves as a bridge to the higher heavens. It's a place where the spiritual truths and the divine guidance flows. And so it's really just it's a beautiful earth. But at the same time, there are a lot of things that are happening here. Okay? When we talk about the duality, there is a duality that's being processed on 7D Earth, and that's the life and death counseling cycles. This is where the afterlife on a collective level, on an angelic level, is processing. This is where the souls of the afterlife process. This is the dimension that facilitates life and death counseling cycles and where souls are guided and processed in preparation for their next steps on their evolutionary path. And there's a lot of stuff that happens here. This, the soul has to go through so much. Um, and this is when we talk about it's almost like all evil from the 3D, from the what is processed in the afterlife has to get dissolved on 7D Earth. So basically, souls come here and it's not what people think, right? Hell is the 1D. There's no like hell truly in the afterlife. Hell is Earth. Okay? Hell is here, heaven is here, everything is here, but what happens in the afterlife is it's not like, oh, you're burning in this fiery pit of hell. It's like, no, you're going through the purification processes of the soul. You're going through afterlife review. You're going through lessons of the soul. There's many, many different, phases on 70 Earth that process that afterlife and facilitate that life and death counseling. Basically, souls get counseled. So if you kill and you do murderous things, well, in the afterlife, they're going to counsel you, basically. Um, and they're going to work with the celestial fires to cleanse and purify your spirit. Um, so nobody's truly ever like eternally condemned. Um, but but there are a lot of things that get processed here collectively, like war, um, like mass killings and massacres and genocide and Holocaust. Like we have to review these things here on the 70 Earth. So this is kind of the duality of that. We go here and we have to review the collective shared experiences. And this is where you get a lot of the realization truly of what your existence is about and the law of one and what this is about and, what these important things are as your soul expands and grows and learns, and these records are installed in the order of your soul blueprint. And why you then have the choices to come back and do this again. So you really think that you're making those choices here in this life. Like, do I want to come back and do this again? You say, oh, heck no, I'm done. But when you get to 70 Earth, you know, whether it's in the living or if it's in the afterlife, you're gonna be shown a lot more for you to actually make those decisions, right? According to humanity, according to the collective, according to what's occurred for the evolutionary path for the whole, and you're gonna get the whole picture. So then you can choose, right? Now that I actually know what it's all containing, do I come back? Do I do this again? So there's a lot of portals here and rainbow bridges that assist with the processes of reincarnation. There is no harvesting here. They can't harvest in terms of that. This is the pure soul transitions, like that are more seamless, that are more connected with the divine purpose and the greater cosmic orders and laws in which sustain those processes. So 70 Earth is a gateway to all of those things. It's offering ethereal access to the sacred hubs of the divine feminine blueprints as well. It's also a very feminine Earth. 70 Earth is very connected to the Venusian feminine portals. Um, I'm really getting Andromeda as well. Um, there's a lot of focus here on, and I think it's the Venus portals. 70 Earth really sustains the Venus portals. So we talked about, timeline jumping that from 2D Earth to 5D Earth to even 12D Earth, but 70 Earth here is also very connected to the Venus portals on the planet, and it's just infused with a lot of highlight frequency codes. I think it's the 70 Earth that's sustaining the fifth dimensional Venus Stargate. So 70 Earth is gonna restore and integrate the sacred feminine energies on the planet. It's gonna instrumentally balance the masculine and feminine principles, creating the foundation for universal harmony and collective healing. And the Venus temples here, they just bring a lot of that profound teaching on creation, nurturing, unconditional love, purity, perfection. Um, it's just it's just a beautiful earth, really. The vibration supports the refinement of spiritual energy, and it just really focuses on all of the higher heavens. This is where you can access the higher harmonic heavens from 7D Earth. Some portals to this would be places where this is located on the Earth. Well, I seen this at the Niagara Falls. There's definitely a 7D Earth Rainbow Bridge portal at the Niagara Falls. There's also, oh gosh, oh, this is tuning me into China, North Korea. There's a lake there called Heaven Lake. I've talked about that. I do think that's a 70 Earth portal. There's also a waterfall. There's a waterfall, like the highest waterfall in the whole world. And I don't know if Evie is still here with us. If Evie's still listening, she knows the name to that waterfall. I think it's called like Heaven Waterfall or something like that. Um, this is one of the major portals to 70 Earth. And gosh, I would say Uluru is probably one. Just like gosh, I'm kind of getting like Garden of the Gods. I think Garden of the Gods is probably connected to the 10D Earth. Well, there's a lot of them. There's lots of them. Honestly, it just none of them are like coming to mind. Um, but they're basically the portals that sustain the rainbow bridges into the higher heavenly harmonics. And a lot of these will also be used as jumping points for spirits too. Like, um, it's like where a lot of places where like mist accumulates too. Like if it's a very beautiful sacred place and there's a lot of mist accumulating, a lot of times it's usually represented spirits and beings, in the in-between realms or spirits that are on their journeys from, timeline jumping Earths in the afterlife, and that they'll use those carriers, they'll use the mist as trans transporters or transponders basically to move between dimensional realms. And let's see. Oh, okay. JB Light Smith and Bailey says there's a Rainbow Lake in Winnipeg, Manitoba as well. Wormhole gates. Okay. Yeah, well, I do know that the Great Lakes are definitely like a solar sun disk location. I do think the tip of Lake Superior is a Guardian Stargate. Um, yeah, but there's I can't remember the name. It's this waterfall that's like the highest waterfall in the world. I would say that, and also there's some mountains down in Peru. I think they're called Rainbow Mountains. They might be connected to this as well. But yeah, there's a lot of grace and divinity connecting us back to source with 7D Earth. It's we get more magical as we move up. More and more magical, right? So let's look at 8D Earth. And if you guys are just joining me today, just be sure to say hello in the chat and put a like on this video. And just be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notifications bell if you haven't, so that way you can continue to get these updates and tune in with me for all of these New Earth live updates. I've been trying to keep it in balance with some of the other crazier content that we have going on, because sometimes we're coming down to 3D and 4D Earth to give some of these updates of current events that are happening. So, can't always focus on these higher dimensional Earths, but I do my best to bring it back in. We'll be teaching the course on this as well. Join me for the New Earth Global Gridwork and New Earth Prophecy course at learn.indigoangel222.com. But yeah, 8D Earth. So this realm is deeply intertwined with the planetary Akashic memory fields and records. There are a lot of looping through the Orion systems that connect us through 8D Earth, of human origin creations and just everything that's carried a profound legacy off the planet. 8D Earth acts as a bridge to cosmic truths and human evolution. And I do think that this Earth really is trying to clear the things that have happened within the Orion system. So it's almost like it's definitely shielded and guarded from external harm compared to the lower dimensional Earths, right? Um, However, I don't think it's entirely immune to infiltration. Similarly to 6 and 7, like there is still a duality and a polarity that's playing out. Um, but I think the duality with the 8D Earth is, according to the Orion system, that occasionally destructive timelines from Orion do attempt to try to penetrate this realm. And I think it's because the Orion system used to be more eighth dimensional. I think there was a great fall that happened and destabilized Orion, but so I think they try to rip or tear into at least the negative beings from Orion, that there's something with them trying to tap into 8D Earth. But I think that this is highly countered, that the Guardians work tirelessly to monitor and protect 8D Earth. Similarly, it's almost similar to 4D Earth, and I think there's some sort of timeline passage between 4D and 8D. But what's happening is they're ensuring that it remains free from being drawn into black hole wormhole systems. That wherever the parallel of 8D Earth exists, even though it's here on this Earth, simultaneous, but it also goes through separation. Similarly to this picture, right? Like how the timelines separate. So 8D Earth is being protected from being drawn into any black hole systems or WESA systems. Um, there's a lot of integrity in this dimension, and it does hold a pivotal role in Earth's multidimensional framework. I think there is a lot more remote viewing that needs to be done when it comes to 8D Earth. I do feel like 8D Earth probably holds all of Earth's creation records. That 8D Earth, it's either 7, 8, or 9, was the original Tiamat body. So there's something with that as well. That it's going to hold the original creation records. I think going back to the Orion system, that somehow the fusing of the Venusian cell as it's split from the Orion system has to do with the original like cell split from the 8D Earth. So because of that history, I think that's what makes it more more dealing with the cosmic scales of justice. It's more dealing with balancing out the scales. It's I think working within the celestial council realms that there's like even like the celestial guardian councils will go to 8D Earth to try to gosh, even as I just say that, I'm seeing portals like going into the Mintaka system. Like the Mintakans might have access here to 8D Earth. There's something with that. There's a lot of balance and fairness here though as well. Like when it comes to galactic harmony, galactic unification, galactic coalitions, galactic contracts, what's in the best. I think there's a lot of like determining evolution here. There's a lot of like measuring, measuring principles, measuring uh dynamics and the balancing of the scales of humanitarian's evolution, evaluating, right? Evaluating the progress, evaluating timelines, evaluating what's going on Earth. It's going to be an 8D Earth where the galactic councils then decide what's going to happen down on 4D, right? What's going to 8D is where the order comes from. Quarantine has been issued from 8D Earth, okay? And they go down there and place those seals, or they go down there and place those protective measures, but it's all for the collective progress. It's all for the spiritual growth. It's all for the pendulum shifts that are happening in the lower earth, balancing the swings between light and dark across all the timelines. So really, they're just caught. 8D Earth is about maintaining the balance, for the interconnectedness of all the Earth systems. So 8D Earth is keeping the balance on a higher level for all the Earth systems. Yeah, it's definitely balancing things for 1D, it's balancing things for 2D, it's balancing the dualistic battlegrounds of 3D and 5D Earth. It's focusing on ascension and purification processes of the higher dimensions. Okay, this is where the defender grids are maintained. This is where, if they have to activate a defender grid in the Earth, in 3D Earth, okay, because there's like some sort of apocalyptic thing coming. Of course, 8D Earth is in the future, right? They're going to see that coming, right? They're going to be monitoring. They're going to see all of the things happening in the timelines before us on 4D and 3D can even process any of that. So they can activate the defender grid systems and they can maintain the equilibrium on behalf of humankind. Uh, an example of a defender grid work network and this is something I talk about in the Global Gridwork New Earth Prophecy course, is all of the different defender grids because there's many of them. But one of the main ones is the Thousand Guardian Defender grid. This is all of the Moai heads down on Easter Islands, right? So working with 6D Earth, working with the Syrian Stargate portals, the Palladian Stargate portals, the Thousand Guardian Defender grid is where they activate the thousand Moai heads, basically. And what they would do to activate this defender grid is they would actually pull together an angelic team of 12 dimensional angels, 12 dimensional key code holders, right? Those that probably hold ancestry to the RH Null or the Gold Blood, those that have ancestry to the ancient Lemurian soul records, those that have the light and sound spiritual technologies encoded in them, and they would send a group or a team, uh, down to 4D or 3D Earth, and they would, or even 1D Earth, and they would activate those thousand guardian defender heads through light and sound because basically they can move the heads according to song, 12D sound healing codes, and the heads move, and they can place them strategically to guard and defend the Earth from Armageddon or from a total apocalyptic annihilation. And then they do this through signals in the ley lines. They do this through signals in the stargates. They do this by activating the other guardians on Earth to the information. They do this through running the clearings through the pyramid networks on the planet. They do this through running the clearings through the stone circles on the planet, places like Stonehenge, places like Avebury, places like the Albion Spine. They turn on the ancient planetary defense systems, the spiritual defense systems that were placed by the ancient builder races. And then they will, all this is coming from the councils that are on 8D Earth. And there's more defender grids. There's the mother grid, there's the organic dragon defender grids, things like this. So yeah, that's really interesting, right? How it's kind of a hub for guardianship. It's kind of a hub for cosmic oversight. It's, where they can balance those things. They can bring justice to these things. They can serve as a critical role in the multidimensional structure of existence. And they can anchor the divine frequencies needed to sustain Earth's ascension while ensuring that the timelines align with the highest evolutionary outcomes. And so, yeah, it's about stability, it's about guardianship, it's about safeguarding the integrity for all of the Earth's inhabitants. And it's really a cool place. 8D Earth is a cool, it's definitely it's a learning Earth and there's so much more to learn there. I haven't even learned. I mean, I feel like I've tapped into a lot of what's on 8D Earth, but there's so much more here. Again, I think the creation records coming from Orion are held there. So timeline jump up to 90 Earth, shifting up. Shannon says she looked for my live yesterday and she missed the last hour, but it's all good. Yes, it was a long live. I think I went for 2.5 hours. So and it's just jammed packed with information. So it's one that I think you can watch all the way through and it's very activating. So definitely go back and watch part one if you haven't. And it's gonna really tie in, why we're talking about what we're talking about now and how this is all connected. Oh, Victoria Rose says Angel Falls. Yes. That's it. That is it. Good job. Good job. Yes, Angel Falls. That is it's like that is definitely one of the stairways to heaven. 60, 70 Earth portal. I was thinking about doing a grid worker mission there, but I guess it's hard to get to. Definitely have to have a guide to get back into those lands. Is it in Venezuela? Is that where it was? Something like that. Um, 90 Earth. Okay, 90 Earth. We're now the higher we go up in these Earth planes, the like holier and holier and holier we get. Um, 90 Earth is really where the divine embodiment of like Christ, Buddha, Shiva, their divine counterparts have incarnated. Most of these beings incarnated on a 90 Earth. They did not come in on the same Earth as everyone else, that's for sure. They came in from a much more advanced Earth, a spiritual Earth, a holy Earth, and so they from the 90 Earth, this is where, the white flame. This is about the white flame, the symbolizing of purity and ascension. And this is really where if you energetically, spiritually, emotionally, etherically, telepathically access 90 Earth, you will see the golden light cities here. They're already existing here. They're already holding the blueprint to the light temples and the light cities. And they're already anchoring. It's the energies of enlightenment and divine unity and wisdom. So, um, yeah, they walk in, they walk into an earth, and this is why they are enlightened beings, is because they were educated through the ethereal temples of learning, which are the golden light cities. This is what they are. It's like being downloaded directly from God, like being downloaded directly from source. It comes through the temples. Also, okay, when I said the Tiamat light grid, I think I said it was 80 Earth. Actually, I think it's 90 Earth. This is 90 Earth. Um, I knew I was close. Let's see. This would be the template for the Tiamat grid. Okay, inner core halls of Amenti, hall of records, reflection of the entire universe, hexagonal honeycomb Tiamat matrix. So it does have a 5D inner body, but it is functioning, I think, from the 369, right? 369D Earth. So it has the flower of life codes. It holds the cosmic heart pulse from the point of all union that creates life on Earth. Um, and so this comes through the 90 Earth, and this is where they're weaving together the mother grid fabric fields. This is where it holds all of the crystalline frequencies and the ultralight fabrics that form the energetic foundation of New Earth. This grid structure is deeply connected to the Lemurian template and the blueprint of divine harmony that guides the Earth's ascension process. This this template also is the Earth fabric that is sustaining the original morphogenetic fields and the sacred stargates. So, yeah, it's like 90 Earth is like the womb. 90 Earth is like the nexus for, again, the morphogenetic fields, but also directly the Garden of Eden stargates, the Garden of Eden worlds and portals, and these stargates act as access points to divine knowledge and creation energies, and it connects the sacred sites across the globe. Um, a lot of places, right? We've seen this connect in at Gobekli Tepe. We've seen this connect into Kauai, Hawaii, Japan, and all of the new Earth islands that are birthing in Japan, because that's basically where, like, mm, uh, New Earth is emerging. That's where it's being born, is in Japan. Montsouris, France, Newgrange, Glastonbury, the pyramid networks again. This is all connected into the 90 Earth systems. And it's really just drawing all of the crystalline light through the 90 Earth fabric. I do feel like this is connected to the gold blood incarnations as well. That, like, I think a lot of The gold blood ones are going to incarnate 60 Earth, 70 Earth, 80 Earth, 90 Earth. Most of them are going to walk in here. And, they're going to be carrying all of the higher evolutionary birth blueprints for that. And so this is important because this is, where I think to learn to take your grid work to the next level, like you do have to somewhat access 90 Earth because you have to be able to see with your third eye. You do have to be able to integrate from the light cities themselves. You have to integrate from the golden ethereal temples to get the downloads of information, to get the prophecy, to get the wisdom, to get the keys and codes to build the new earth and to anchor those energies into 3D and 4D earth, which is really where they're gonna manifest in future earth. And it's where you can weave that tapestry of unity and light. So you have to visit 90 Earth to access truly the ascending Earth portals and where you get clarity about what new Earth is, what that is becoming. And it's very divine, right? But it does continue to go even more divine. It becomes even more holy, more profound, more spiritual significance as we begin to move up in the Earth dimensions. So timeline jump to 10D Earth, shift up, tune up, dial up. This is the gateway to Shambhala and the crystalline network. Oh, ZZZZ says, I like your name. Freemasons speak of very similar things. Wow, that's interesting. So interesting because I had a session today where Freemasons was coming in a lot. There's a lot of Freemason stuff coming in with like ancestral roots and also the feminine Freemasons, that a lot of them were actually like freedom fighters. A lot of them were the ancient bloodlines to the Irish as well. So it's like, yeah, there is like good and bad with that. Like you can see how like certain groups were trying to um anchor like purity and freedom. I think that, yeah, some of the teachings, like I know that there's feminine groups of Freemasons. They're like more hidden in occult. Like, and they might even be the true Freemasons, is the woman groups of Freemasons. Wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, and if you guys are just coming in and joining me today, be sure to put a like on this video, and you do have to be subscribed for 60 seconds to join in the chat. But I love to hear from all of you and love it when you guys say hello and tune in with me. Um, but yeah, let's talk about 10D Earth. So this is the gateway to Shambhala and the crystalline network. This one's profound, and I think when I got back from Kauai, I was on 10D Earth for like 4 weeks. A good 4 weeks, I was on 10D Earth. I mean, I was getting download after download after download of Shambhala. Um, so it's like you feel so good on 10D Earth. You feel healthy, you feel energetic, you feel charged, you feel inspired, you feel like accelerative in everything you do. It's divinely supported, it's divinely manifesting. Everything keeps coming to you, everything that you need. It's like you're in some sort of rapid, miraculous vortex where everything's very pure within you. And so everything you think just it's if it's in alignment to source and the coming of the new earth and the coming of the new time and like the coming of the divine plan. If you are in 100% with divine plan, everything is just laid out to you and it's just like here you go. Everything you need just comes to you. And it's really remarkable. Like this is a real thing. And I was getting Shambhala. I was getting access to the elevated mountain peak points, the etheric pathways that act as the central hub for the Earth's crystalline grid. So it was really connecting all the aspects of planetary cosmic harmony, and it's running off of the 24 nodal points. So this was something that the Lemurians did teach about, and this is something that the Pleiadians did help create from the 6D Earth. So the Pleiadians came in with this one. Now I think this was back, this had to be in the timelines of Mu. But they installed these gateways. Like they must have came in like 5D, 6D and installed and built aspects of 10D Earth. Um, but these points, there's 24 main ones, 24 nodal peak points that hold the 10D Shambhala crystalline grid structure in the planet. They're nodes that are energetic hubs that anchor divine frequencies and they facilitate the flow of light codes throughout the planet. They anoint people. They enlighten people by just one touch. Like if you go to a place, if you go to a 10D Earth, if you go to a 24 point peak point in the Earth's grids, you will just be immediately enlightened. Like you don't even have to do anything. You just walk into the portal and your whole body upgrades. You know, something that somebody down on 3D or 4D Earth would have been meditating their whole lives to achieve. You achieved it in one day. You achieved it just by coming into alignment with the energetic hub that anchors the divine frequencies and facilitates that flow of light codes throughout the planet. And I can tell you, I've been getting a download for a while now that one of the things I'm supposed to do, I don't know when it's going to happen. I just know it's going to happen. I don't know when, but I need to get to like the peak of Mount Kalash or gosh, maybe Adam's footprint or something like that, one of these places. And I need to go there with a very powerful, enlightened team of divine feminines, and we have to go there and meditate. We have to go there and literally just download, 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 and just get, because what I'm getting is going to come to me is a lot of the like feminine earth creation records. If we just go there, all we have to do is just go there, and it's gonna come before us. I mean, these places are said to be where, Christ spoke, Shiva spoke, Buddha spoke. They spoke. Yes, all that is the Himalayas, exactly. Yes, Himalayas. The there's a whole mountain range and I think it's the Kunlun Mountains. Yeah, these places are where like these are the thrones of the ascended masters. And this is how you know that every ascended master, like Christ, Buddha, Shiva, El Morya, Saint Germain, Sananda, whoever. Some people don't like those ones because they feel like those things are tampered or fallen or whatever. But all of those ascended masters, they were grid workers. They knew about these places. They knew about the different earths. They knew about accessing portals that would enlighten them. They knew to go there. They knew to do this. They knew to speak about these places and go to these places. So if you're accessing these earths and you're getting these messages and you're getting them downloads, like you will be inherently and naturally guided to go to the 24 nodal points. Your soul will start calling you. It will start telling you, like, it's time to go. So a lot of these places too on Tendi Earth, this is where a lot of like the higher angelics descend. They descend down through portals and they will like use these as conduits for these higher angels like the 12D Earth angels to connect with the lower astral plane angels that are doing work down there, right? Um, these portals bring through the seraphim, they bring through the Elohai, they bring through, I was going to say the Oraphim or the Ophanim, but I think those are like 11D, 12D angels. But they assist the maintenance of the planetary balance, and they support humanity's spiritual evolution, and they interact through these conduits. Uh, Thank you. Yeah, hearts. I love the hearts. Thank you. Yes. Well, it's amazing, isn't it? I mean, it feels so. I think for someone that's watching this that's not familiar with this type of stuff, they're looking at this stuff like this is just, this is out of a movie, this is fantasy, this is imagination, you know, we're just cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. We're just crazy people. But it's until it's real, and until it's real, until it's not, until you're living it, until you're walking the living ascension path and you're being shown that this is real. Again, this is why attuning your Stargate, your 16 dimensional Stargate in your heart, which is even more advanced than the 12D Earth. Have you know? That's the capacity of your potential of your heart Stargate. That heart has the ability to feel the reality and the realness of a 16D Earth. You have that inside you. You were designed that way. As long as you can get your DNA up and you can activate the strands and da 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 and get and rehabilitate and go through this process. But it's real. And so your heart will reflect the feelings, the emotions, the senses, the knowing. Your third eye will see it. And your physical world will manifest it. And you'll be living those 10D Earth parallels at the same time as living with someone that's on the 3D Earth, and you're having what appears to be the same Earth experience, but you're not. You're on a different Earth. Someone who doesn't have their fourth or sixth strand activated isn't going to make it to a Shambhala peak point. They probably don't even know that they exist. This is why it's imagination. It's fantasizal to them, right? Because they can't even conceptualize that that place actually exists. And that's what it's about, right? So 10D Earth it's also an ancestral Earth. Um, it holds a lot of the memories and the legacies to all of the planet's original lineages, right? It's kind of like a morphogenetic race keeper as well, similarly to the 90 Earth. And this is where the etheric cities exist in their most refined state. So you're really going to get the glimpse into the divine architecture of higher dimensional civilizations. You'll be able to see them here and know how this is how you know that they can be built is by, seeing how refined they are on 10D Earth. And these cities are sanctuaries of light, and they're serving as centers of learning, healing, and ascension for those who align with the frequencies. Again, part of the New Earth prophecy is that we will build these golden light cities for the future Earth root races because they will need these light cities to exist, to sustain their existence. And this is why global grid work is what it is, why it is the revolutionary spiritual technology of the future. It's people waking up to their avatar land shamanism, right? And how powerful they are, and how powerful their co-creation, their manifestation is, and how you can work to anchor 10D realities into the 3D, into the physical. It will be absolutely necessary coming into the future timeline. So those who know this now are the wisdom keepers of the most ancient sacred knowledge that exists truly on the planet, the most advanced spiritual knowledges that exist on the planet. And I've talked about this being a need to safeguard this information as well, right? I talked about, I think, on one of my lives, like the exile, like we might go through a timeline of exile, of having to protect, of having to do these things in secret, having to, you know, build build the new earth within Earth and keeping that for the coming of the future race. So this these cities, yeah, it's really 10D Earth. It's the residence of the ascended masters. It's the dwelling place of the ascended masters who have transcended the cycles of reincarnation, and now they guide others from an elevated realm. And these enlightened beings hold the wisdom and light codes necessary to assist humanity in achieving higher states of consciousness and spiritual integration. Also here there are things called seraphim and Elohai angelic collectives. So how I said they're using the Shambhala portals to descend, but they're also anchored here within their monadic field as well. So they're creating from their own monadic field and they're creating from their higher dimensional frameworks to ensure the stability of the crystalline grid. They actually hold that up. They support that crystalline grid through the multidimensional system. And they're doing a lot of bridging work here, right? Everything from the physical lower earth planes to the higher ethereal realms, connecting all of the cosmic counterparts through Shambhala, through the crystalline nodal points. They're weaving, they're tethering, they're sustaining that sacred realm so that way the people who can access it do, and that it is sustained for the ascended masters and the angelic collectives. Okay, so let's look at 11D Earth. Quantum jump. We're so high right now. Everybody should just be floating, floating in your body. You should be in a very light, heavenly space, going into the double diamond codes, really feeling that lucid state. And 11D Earth is kind of like the intergalactic highway of cosmic knowledge. It's definitely an intelligence network. It's a light fabric field that's ultralight. I could say that. Um, it's where all universal creation information converges into the cosmic wisdom. So we've gone from planetary Akashic records to cosmic, to the repository of the cosmic Akashic records. And it's basically holding the totality of all of Earth's history, consciousness, evolutionary blueprint. It is facilitating the exchanges of knowledge, energy between planetary systems as well. Um, Ensuring that Earth's evolution remains in alignment with the broader cosmic framework, right? So a lot of the cosmic, like cosmic laws, right? It holds cosmic laws. Yeah. Oh, hey, Jim. Yeah, nice to see you. Sun Chris, how's it going? Empress of Atlantis. Yeah, high frequency information today. We're on the high frequency intergalactic highway. Come on in. Yeah, Melissa's making chocolate covered bananas. Sounds good. I want one. Oh, I'd love one. I got a chocolate chip cookie over here. I was kind of bad. I did have some sugar. I can't help it. I do love a good chocolate chip cookie every once in a while. It's like, oh, it's my kryptonite. Yeah, we are floating. I mean, how can you not float when you get up here, right? It's like, where even are we? Who even knows? We're just flying with the angels. And oh, by the way, I do have a video called the 122 Dimensional Stargate. It's the helicopter ride tour that I took in Kauai. And so when we were talking about the Guardians on yesterday's live, basically in that video, I point out the guardians. So maybe I'll go and upload it in the description. So check back when I get done with the live. I can put the link, or if you want to go look on my channel, it's not too far back, maybe a few months back, but it's called Flying with Angels. And it's the 122 dimensional helicopter tour of Kauai, Hawaii. And I label that video throughout it like everything that I'm talking about, right? Inner Earth Stargate portals, the solar sun disks, the emerald sun disks, the guardian faces, the guardian chambers. You can see them, literally see them. So if you want to know what I'm talking about, just go watch that and you'll see exactly what I mean. Dark chocolate is so good. I love dark chocolate. Sometimes I like to do the raspberry dark chocolate, like the organic ones, or like a salted caramel dark chocolate. Oh my gosh, that's just ridiculous. Um, yeah, how funny, right? We're on 11D Earth, and now all we can talk about is sweets. We're all craving some sweets. That's hilarious. Oh yeah, chocolate brownies from Publix. Oh gosh. Yeah, like with a good fudge and some walnuts or some almonds on it. Yep, that's pretty good. Not gonna lie. I do have a sweet tooth, that's for sure. Okay. Oh yeah, Melissa says I'm using dark chocolate baking chips made with coconut sugar for the bananas. Ooh. Okay. Coconut sugar, that sounds nice. Yeah, coconut is so nice. Like coconut gives a really nice flavor to everything. I feel like I love using coconut oil to cook with too. Yeah. Oh, coconut oil in your muffins and coconut oil in your like banana bread and your coconut oil and like just your sweets. If you bake with the coconut oil versus regular oil, just everything tastes so much better. Yes, we do need a ground. Everybody ground right now. Let's just connect in and ground. Support, safety, comfort, foundation, just connect into the inner earth, spirit body, and just, yeah, let's just, yeah, well, the radiating diamond core, I feel like we're going to the radiating diamond crystal core of the earth where we're getting all the energy, we're getting all the light codes, we're getting all of the flow into the planetary grid. So yeah, this is really what the 11D Earth is about. I mean, there's no words. There's no words. 11D Earth, there's no words. You're in a heavenly realm of sweets and chocolates and brownies and interstellar councils and celestial realms, and you're just floating, right? Like we're we're serving the pathways of light to the advanced technologies to flow into the planetary grid. And I think one of the main things here was the cosmic Akashic records. I think that's the main thing is that it holds like the library. So you can really access Earth's history here from an expanded view, right? Like which obviously I need to go digging in 11D Earth to figure out our Orion history. That's what we need. We need a group mission to 11D Earth so we can decode that. Uh, But this is, yeah, it has all the blueprints for the ascension. It has all the blueprints for Earth's life, like Earth's ascension. So these records they're really important. They're really needed to understand Earth's role in comparison to the other planets in our solar system, in comparison to the multiverse, in comparison to all of the cosmic higher dimensional timelines and the integration of that past, present, and future, just the whole cohesive whole of existence and what that means. 11D Earth is like a repository for the hub of exchange and connect with the contribution of Earth's cosmic journey. And, 11D Earth is like it's like a ultimate guardian of knowledge, infinite wisdom. So, yeah. So funny. You guys are so funny. I love you guys so much. Um, how we're all getting activated here with this one. But yeah, let's talk about where we've been wanting to go this whole time, right? 12D ascended Earth, the pinnacle of new Earth realization. And and I want to say this isn't even where New Earth is. Again, I think New Earth, the actual manifestation of it, like in its fullness, is on like 144 Earth. I mean, that's where or at least as far as I can see. And but on 12D Earth, it holds all the codes. It holds all of the timeline records. It holds all of the information. It holds it all now. It holds it all relative to the beings on Earth, to humanity. So it's imperative. It's absolutely the pinnacle of the New Earth realization. And this is the ultimate embodiment of New Earth. This is where heaven on earth actually becomes a tangible reality. This is where the dimension represents a future Earth fully protected under the guidance of guardian hierarchies, safeguarding the highest timeline probabilities and potentials for humanity's evolution. And this is the realm that holds all of the pure morality and all of the enlightenment and all of the embodiment of peace, the embodiment of total harmony. Again, this is why I said none of the shenanigans that is going down on 3D, 1D, 2D, 3D, 4D Earth can even get here. These conflicts don't exist here. The dissolution of all galactic conflicts are dissolved. It will not be here. So every wound that we have on a galactic level, right? The Vault of Orion, the Draco Wars, the hybridization, the Force Breeder stuff, you know, the experimentation, the abduction, the cloning, all of it, all of it, the Holocaust, the genocides, just AI, none of it is happening here on 12D Earth. It's where these things are healed. It's where they are healed and where they will be healed. Um, and that's interesting. I just got almost like a download there for a minute where I seen the fall of Lyra coming in through 11D Earth. So it's like holding records to that. So yeah, because there's something like the major galactic catastrophes can't transpire over to 12D Earth, so everything must be 11D and under when it comes to like all galactic war. The final remnants of division and discord are dissolved into unity and love here. Access to 12D Earth requires a level of enlightenment free from lower vibrational emotions such as hatred, anger, wrath, cruelty cannot exist here. Only those who have achieved higher level spiritual alignment and embody unconditional love can fully experience this realm. So, yeah, you truly have to know unconditional love to be here. You have to know that. You have to. You're not getting to 12D Earth without unconditional love. And so I think, we're taught this through our relationships of polarity, right? Our relationships teach us this. If you have an intention, like let's say you don't feel like you truly know unconditional love, you can set those intentions in your heart and call forth the wisdom experiences to learn it, right? So if you can't access this realm because you don't know what unconditional love is, you just really have to ask for the wisdom for it, and Source will pull that experience into your reality for you to learn unconditional love. It will bring you your polar opposite from across the globe to come in and teach you unconditional love. Trust me, it will happen. It's it's wild. Oh, we are still on the sweets. Okay. Eleanor made buckwheat blueberry pancakes with local artisanal honey and peanut butter on the top. Oh my gosh. That sounds ridiculously amazing. My kids love blueberry pancakes. They like love, love, love blueberry pancakes. That's something that I can always win with. That is for sure. Good for our teeth. Yeah, totally. Coconut oil repairs our teeth. Yep. Says you're supposed to apply coconut oil to your teeth every night before you go to bed and swish it for like, I don't know, at least at least a couple minutes. Tea tree oil, organic garlic, and ACV. Okay, yep. Down with the tea tree oil. Down with organic garlic. Yep. I'll just go eat garlic out of the fridge sometimes. It's crazy. I'll just take one, just like eat the whole thing. Yes. Oregano oil is amazing as well. Yeah, I mean, gosh, I think you guys are down on like 70 or 80 Earth right now. You guys are in you guys are in the gardens. You guys are on the garden Earths. You guys are tapping in with all of the plant medicine, eucalyptus oil. Oh, great. Yeah, her relationship with her dogs and cats have up-leveled her understanding of unconditional love. Yeah, I think the cats and dogs, they're definitely coming from a higher dimensional Earth. That's for sure. Dogs for sure. Dogs definitely. They teach unconditional love. I agree with that. They are just amazing beings, right? I think they must come through that Lyran Syrian Stargate portal, right? So so 12D Earth is also the birthplace of future star civilizations. So yeah, this is where humanity's most advanced intelligence beings are expressed. They're holding the blueprints to the future star civilizations. You can go to 12D Earth and get the blueprints to the star civilizations, take them down to 3D Earth, and start help building them, right? I mean, this is where all the New Earth prophecies transpire. You have to tap into 12D Earth to get the prophecy for New Earth. It reveals all of the path forward for the collective evolution on this planet and beyond. Lyra, Cygnus, starseeds incarnate into 12D Earth. Lyra and Cygnus starseeds, the oldest indigo record keepers on the planet. If you are a Lyran starseed or a Cygnus starseed, you hold the most ancient records. You go all the way back to Neanderthal indigo. You are a Neanderthal. I'm telling you, I got 1% Neanderthal DNA in me. So I know for a fact my records go back to ancient indigo Neanderthal. Um, and this is where we are holding all of the sacred histories of the cosmos. Everything's born here. So yeah, we are going to be building the future star civilizations from 12D Earth. And anchoring that in. Like I said, you guys, this has a lot to do with the star forts and ancient Tartaria. They and Atlantis. Atlantis itself was built from a 12D blueprint. Like if you look at the architecture of Atlantis, where it's a star civilization, it's a round circular hub. And I used to have pictures of this somewhere, but I don't have them. Um, and water is in between it, and the structure, the buildings, the architecture of Atlantis is actually built into Earth. It's cohesive with nature. And they were using organic crystal technology at that time to power use free energy and things like this. And it was all about, really, I think they were more like 6D. They had like a 6D Earth template, but they ethereally were pulling the architectural blueprints from 12D. So 12D Earth acts as a healing hub for the entire Earth matrix. Grid workers that are equipped with advanced spiritual light and sound technologies can access 12D timelines to correct and heal distortions in lower dimensional Earths. It will be the 12D blueprint holders that will be assigned to the most biggest global restorative missions. And this is why we need to talk about this stuff. This is why we need to educate on these things. This is why I'm teaching the course on this because, you know, people have to get the information. They got to get the codes. They got to understand how this works and how they can become and step into their advanced land avatar shamanism and start reading the holographic blueprints and records of the planet and start building the ethereal temples, start building the new kingdoms of New Earth, um, and recalibrate the entire planetary grid system, aligning all of the dimensions with the highest frequencies of light and love, and also um, tapping into that monadic field of creation and that creation across the multiverse, where they can exist on Earth from the spiritual core of existence and hold that blueprint for universal harmony and allowing all of creation to align with its divine origin and purpose, and work with the guardian stargates to do that. Because none of us, okay, none of us, most of us, I don't want to say none of us because I mean, miraculous things are real and I can't say none of us, but I truly feel that most of us, we can't really restore our 12D blueprint without going to stargates, without accessing stargates. I would have never known what what was going on entirely with 12D to 48D Earth to 144 Earth, and I still don't know everything that's going on. I know parts of it. I know little glimpses of it from experiencing the stargates. All of the encoding is held in the stargates. So getting to a 12D Guardian Rescue Stargate on the planet, this will connect you into all of the energies and dimensions and infinite realms and creation systems that hold the multiverse within it, that hold all of this double diamond star core matrix. All of the crystalline structures that radiate purity and perfection, literally earth perfection, accessing the gold core matrix, accessing the emerald core lava in matrix, accessing the violet core lava in matrix, the blue core violet lava matrix, right? Holding all the codes to the sacred path of ascension. So it's really amazing. It's really like incredible that we exist in a place that there's so much abundance available to us to align with divine harmony and to possess and learn and educate and repair ourselves in sacred wisdom and realize our highest potential and really anchor the new earth prophecy for generations to come. So that's why I'm teaching about all of this, you guys. That's why I'm doing this. That's why I eat, breathe, sleep for this. Okay? My blood, sweat, my tears, everything about me like goes into this all the time. I mean, I dedicate my life to this because I truly believe in this. I truly believe that, yeah, like Eleanor says, these are the keys to the age of Aquarius. 12D plasmascapes. Missy Hill's here. Hey, girl, I think you missed most of the live, but I'm so happy you made it. So happy you're here. Thank you for being here. Where are all the stargates at again? Um, well, I decoded some of them, I could tell you. Uh, you know what? I'm not gonna tell you. You gotta come take my course, okay? I'm gonna lay all of this out. I was just about to give that out. I've decoded quite a few of them. Um, Not all of them. I truly believe there's 144 of them on the planet. Why wouldn't there be, right? Um, I've decoded quite a few. And like I would say I've decoded 24 Guardian Stargates. So it's a work in progress, right? Because I have to tap into each one of them. I have to tune myself to each one. I have to study the mechanics of each one. I have to, see what it's holding. And not only that, new Guardian Stargates are birthing on the planet all the time. Things shift as well. Um, so things that weren't there all of a sudden become there. And yeah, so be sure to join me. Okay? Join me for my Gridwork course. Missy's gonna be there. Noko's gonna be there. Evie's gonna be there. Uh, Not sure if Raquel will be there. She might be there. I'd love Raquel to be there. But yeah, I mean, all of us are gonna be there. So come and join us because we got so much to get into. I mean, truly, we have entered into a pivotal time. Like it says here, we're building the new earth is not just a calling, but this is imperative. It is imperative for the coming and the arrival of the golden age, right? We're going through massive transformation. Um, and we're like the wisdom keepers that hold sacred knowledge that not a lot of other people have. And we are teachers of the new earth, we are builders of the new earth. And we're guides for the seventh root race to come. So, all of this is so important. Galactic Goddess, she's going to take the course. Woo! Galactic Goddess, let's go. Yes. I can't wait to see you. It's going to be amazing. I mean, and we're going to have a big mission too at the end of it. Um, as we always do, which I think is always like the cherry on the cupcake or the icing on the cake type of thing. Like it's like, you go through the training of grid work and then you get to implement your skills in that live remote setting and experience the collective mind experience of the group. And it's just amazing. It's powerful. It's expansive. It unlocks and opens up so many things. Yeah, I understand. I understand that. Yes. Um, yeah, and also want to say too, uh, I look forward to it. I think the 222 codes are going to be very fitting with the higher humanity codes coming through. And, we're just going to be continuing to work forward. I mean, I have a divine plan for myself as well with this. I can see my purpose in the future. I can see, what the next 5 to 10 years is going to be like for me with this information and what I'm supposed to be doing with it. Um, Teaching it, building it, creating it, funding it, you know, there's gonna come a point that I get back on 10D Earth and everything I need to manifest, it's all gonna come in and it's gonna come in rapidly and quickly. And a lot of the pieces that are already there for me to sustain the coming of the temple architecture that I'm supposed to build, that's all gonna align at some point. So, yeah, I definitely can foresee it all, and I think that's the biggest part of it is your vision, your ability to hold the vision. If you can see it, if you have the vision, you will create it, you will build it. It will come. So, yeah, this will really activate your vision holder abilities because through the course, we will there's a whole section in which we study like remote viewing, um, opening up your, higher and lower astral channels, your auric channels, like your higher ethereal fluidity, seeing through things. So it's depending where you are in your gifts and abilities, these things will switch on and come online, especially if you come and work with me and, the goddess crew that I roll with, because they're all carrying the codes. They're all already activated to a lot of this too. So sometimes it just takes aligning with the people that hold the codes too, and then you're immediately upgraded, right? And sometimes then it has to integrate, but that's the beauty of it, right? Is the self-actualization of it all. The classes start February 22nd, and the first day starts at 11 a.m. CST, and then the remaining days are at 1 p.m. The 23rd is at 1 p.m. CST. How long will the classes go? Probably up to 4 hours a day. It's pretty intense. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot we have to cover. There's a lot we have to get through. I have to get everybody, you know, upgraded as grid workers. Get them solid with the information and then get to the point that we can implement and practice as well. So, yeah, we'll take some breaks. You can bring your muffins, you can bring your blueberry pancakes, you can bring your brownies and cookies and your chocolate covered bananas. You can bring it all. Uh, Food is welcome, you know. We take ourselves seriously, but not too seriously. And that's what's fun about it as well. So yeah, all the links will be down in the description of this video. I'm going to go and plug in that video I talked about earlier with the flying with the angels. I'm also offering, I always offer a 1 year, once a year special off of my diamond package as well. So maybe if you're not quite to the level that you want to take courses, if you want to work with me individually, because I do session work, half of the week as well. I am offering 30% off my diamond package. It's the biggest discount that I give once a year. And this gets you all of my one-on-one session work with me. It comes with a 1 hour free spiritual consultation, an in-depth Starseed origin reading, a 13D chakra clearing, a J seal removal, a Draco seal removal, a 2 hour tutoring session, also the sexual misery implants, an assessment and evaluation of your sacral chakra. And I also do the coordinate planetary personal grid reading as well. So it's a really good value. I did this last year. Um, and it was kind of hard because I did have quite a few people that booked it, and then I was like jam-packed on the schedule for a while. But I made a lot of really beautiful divine connections. And when I work with somebody this deep in energy work for a lot of sessions, like this is where you really get to know people, and I build strong relationships. I think some of my relationships, my strongest sisterhoods and bonds have come through doing this energy work with people, like, really, really going in and getting to the nitty gritty of it all. So this is also down in the description as well. And I always, look forward to anyone who comes and books that diamond package with me because it's like I know, like me and this person, we're about to do a lot of work together. So it's an investment. It's an investment with you and your time and money, and it's an investment for me and my time and money and energy as well. A lot of hours goes into that package, but I think that, it's a good value, you know. I value things according to what I feel they truly are worth. And so yeah, I love doing, but yeah, I wanted to offer this. So everything will be down in the description, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. I love you all so much. I'm probably going to be back tomorrow night and Sunday night. I'm trying to get a divine masculine roundtable together. I'm thinking about bringing in some masculines that I know to discuss some of the upcoming events on January 20th, the inauguration, the regime change. So I get some dynamic perspective on the channel. But yeah, I love you guys so much. Hope you have a beautiful everything, a beautiful evening. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you for being here and sticking with me. Um, yeah, take care, guys.